The shimmering hologram of Earth's final independent military parade flickered in Director Sarah Chen's office. It was a reminder of what humanity had lost 30 years ago, not through defeat, but through what seemed like victory. Sarah watched the recorded images of tanks, aircraft, and proud soldiers marching through the streets of New Delhi. The parade had taken place just days before the Galactic Confederation made first contact. Now, those same weapons were museum pieces, dismantled under the peaceful integration protocol. The Confederation had arrived with promises of technological advancement, medical breakthroughs, and membership in a vast interstellar community. They spoke of peace, cooperation, and prosperity. What they didn't mention were the chains they would forge from their gifts. Director, the Confederation Oversight Committee has arrived for the annual inspection, her AI assistant announced, its voice carefully modulated to sound neither too human nor too artificial, another requirement of the protocol. Sarah straightened her regulation gray uniform, designed by Confederation fashion specialists, to promote harmony among species. She didn't miss the implied message in that seemingly benign standardization. "Send them in, AI," she commanded, using the AI's approved designation. The door whispered open, revealing three beings that still made her breath catch, even after all these years. Ambassador Vexthra led the group, their crystalline body refracting light in complex patterns that their kind used as supplementary communication. Behind them stood two monitors, the Confederation's inspectors, their black uniforms absorbing light in a way that seemed to create small voids in space. Director Chen, Vexthra's translator, converted their light patterns into sound. "We trust you have prepared the documentation for your research facility's activities." "Of course, Ambassador." Sarah gestured to the holographic display, which now showed endless columns of data. Every experiment, every power fluctuation, every staff rotation, all logged according to Confederation standards. The monitors moved forward, their sensory appendages extending to interface with the facility's systems. Sarah had spent weeks ensuring that everything they would find matched exactly what the Confederation expected to see. A human research facility working on approved technological improvements, nothing that could be classified as destabilizing innovation. What the monitors couldn't see was the quantum-encrypted data stream that pulsed beneath the official records, carrying the real research data to a facility deep within Mercury's core. The planet's natural electromagnetic interference made it perfect for hiding certain activities. "Your energy consumption has increased by 3% since our last inspection," one monitor noted, their voice a synthetic approximation of human speech. "Population growth in the Asian continental zone has required increased environmental control systems," Sarah explained, the practiced lie flowing smoothly. "All within approved parameters, of course." As the inspection continued, Sarah's thoughts drifted to the hidden facility. There, Dr. James Morrison and his team were working on something that would have given the monitors seizures if they knew about it. Project Helios wasn't just pushing the boundaries of allowed research, it was shattering them completely. The Confederation had banned quantum tunneling technology, claiming it was too dangerous for developing species. What they really feared was humanity's unique approach to quantum mechanics, one that had already yielded results that their scientists had deemed theoretically impossible. "Everything appears to be in order," Vivexithra finally announced, their crystalline form shifting to a pleased configuration. "Your facility continues to be a model of compliance." Sarah smiled, the expression carefully measured. "The Confederation's guidance has been invaluable in directing our research efforts." After the inspection team departed, Sarah waited exactly 17 minutes before activating her secure communication channel. The quantum-encrypted line connected directly to Mercury base, bypassing all Confederation monitoring systems. "James, they bought it," she said without preamble. "How close are we?" The hologram of Dr. Morrison appeared, his expression caught between excitement and exhaustion. "We've achieved stable quantum tunneling at the microscopic level. Given another 3 months, we'll be ready for full-scale tests." "The Confederation is planning something," Sarah revealed. Their inspections are becoming more frequent, more thorough. They're worried about something. They should be, James replied with a grim smile. We've learned more about quantum physics in 30 years of suppression than we might have in a century of free research. Necessity really is the mother of invention. Sarah nodded, her mind already racing ahead to the next phase. Keep pushing. Humanity has played the role of the obedient child long enough. It's time we reminded the galaxy why they felt the need to chain us in the first place. The hologram flickered out, leaving Sarah alone with her thoughts and the endless stream of carefully crafted false data flowing across her screens. Somewhere in the solar system, a ship was being built, incorporating technologies that the Confederation had deemed too dangerous for humanity to possess. They had meant to clip humanity's wings. Instead, they had taught them to fly in shadows. Dr. James Morrison stood in the heart of Mercury Base, surrounded by technology that officially didn't exist. The quantum tunneling chamber pulsed with a soft blue light, defying the Confederation's carefully constructed limitations on human advancement. "Run the simulation again," he ordered, watching as his team of carefully selected scientists worked at their stations. The holographic display showed a full-scale representation of their prototype ship, designated Phoenix. Unlike the clunky, approved human vessels that plied the space lanes between Earth and Mars, Phoenix was something entirely different. Quantum field stabilizing at 97%, Dr. Maya Patel reported from her station. That's a 3% improvement from last week's test. James nodded, but his attention was drawn to a new alert flashing on his personal display. It was from their deep cover agent within the Confederation's central archives. What he read made his blood run cold. "Get me Director Chen. Now." Minutes later, Sarah's hologram materialized in the secure briefing room. One look at James's face told her this wasn't a routine update. "Our agent found something," James began without preamble. "The Peaceful Integration Protocol. It wasn't created for all new species. It was specifically designed for us." He transmitted the encrypted files to her terminal. "The Confederation has been studying Earth since the 20th century. They watched our world wars, our Cold War, our rapid technological advancement. But what really terrified them was our rate of adaptation." Sarah's eyes widened as she scanned the documents. "According to this, we advanced more in the century before first contact than most species do in a millennium." "Exactly. The Confederation operates on predictable, controlled progress. But humans, we take existing ideas and transform them into something entirely new. We don't just climb the technological ladder, we rebuild it while we're climbing." The implications were staggering. Every restriction, every regulation, every safety measure had been carefully crafted to hobble humanity's unique potential. "There's more," James continued. "They've been conducting secret studies on human innovation under stress. Those pirate attacks on our outer colonies, they were tests. The Confederation wanted to see how we'd respond to threats while being denied the means to properly defend ourselves." Sarah's hologram paced the room, a habit she'd never broken even in virtual form. "How many deaths? How many colonies lost just so they could study our reactions?" "Thousands. And it gets worse. I've decoded their projected timeline. They're not just containing us. They're actively working to modify our species. The educational restrictions, the control technology rollout, the harmony initiatives, they're all designed to slowly reshape human psychology over generations." Sarah's expression hardened. "They want to domesticate us. Like they did to the Arcturians. Remember those crystalline beings that visited last year? According to these files, they were once among the most innovative species in the galaxy. Now they're little more than living computers, processing data for the Confederation." The revelation hung heavy in the air. Everything humanity had believed about their place in the galactic community had been built on carefully constructed lies. "How close is Phoenix to being operational?" Sarah asked. "We've solved the quantum field stability issues. The bioorganic hull components are growing faster than expected. Give us 2 weeks, and we'll be ready for a full systems test." Sarah's hologram flickered as she leaned forward. "Make it 1 week. I'm going to accelerate our timeline. The Confederation is getting suspicious. Their last inspection team placed quantum resonance detectors throughout my facility. They won't detect anything, James assured her. We're using technology they don't even believe is possible. Their sensors are looking for conventional power signatures, not the quantum entanglement fields we've developed. 1 week, James. We need to show them exactly what humanity can do when backed into a corner. Sarah's hologram disappeared, leaving James alone with the damning evidence of the Confederation's true nature. He turned back to the quantum chamber, watching as his team continued their work. The Phoenix was more than just a ship. It was humanity's declaration of independence. The Confederation had sought to chain humanity's potential, to slowly strangle their innovative spirit. Instead, they had created exactly what they feared most, a humanity that had learned to innovate in secret, to develop technologies beyond their understanding, and to prepare for the day when they would break free from their supposed benefactors. The quantum field pulsed again, stronger this time. In the growing light, James could almost see the future they were building. A future where humanity would take its rightful place among the stars, not as obedient children, but as equals who had earned their freedom through ingenuity and determination. The Phoenix hung suspended in the vast underground cavern of Mercury Base, its bioorganic hull shimmering with an otherworldly iridescence. Captain Elena Rodriguez stood on the observation deck, studying what would become humanity's first true warship in 3 decades. Unlike the utilitarian designs approved by the Confederation, Phoenix was beautiful in its alienness. Its hull, grown from modified deep-sea organisms, rippled with patterns that mimicked the flow of solar winds. Beneath that living skin lay a network of quantum tunneling corridors that would allow the ship to effectively exist in multiple spaces simultaneously. "She's ready," Dr. Morrison announced, joining Elena at the viewport. "All systems are showing green, and the quantum core is stable." Elena nodded, her expression tight with concentration. As one of Earth's few remaining military pilots, now officially designated as transport specialists, she had been chosen to command Phoenix on its maiden voyage. The ship represented everything the Confederation had tried to prevent. Human ingenuity unleashed. The biohull is fully integrated with the quantum systems, Maya Patil reported, her dark eyes bright with excitement. The organic components are actually adapting faster than we predicted, creating new neural pathways to optimize power distribution. "Living metal that thinks," Elena mused. "The Confederation's sensors will see a mundane transport vessel, if they see anything at all. They'll never expect a ship that can heal itself." The facility's quantum-encrypted communication system chimed. Director Chen's hologram appeared, her expression grave. "We've got a problem. The Confederation just announced an emergency inspection of all human facilities. They'll be here in 72 hours. James swore softly. "They know something's wrong. They might not know what we've built, but they've noticed enough discrepancies to get suspicious." "Then we move now," Elena declared. "The ship is ready. My crew is prepared. We can't wait for them to find us." Sarah's hologram flickered as she considered the implications. An unauthorized launch will trigger every alarm in the system. The Confederation's response fleet will be on you within hours. "Let them come," Elena replied, a fierce grin spreading across her face. It's time they learned what humanity can really do. The next 12 hours were a blur of activity. Crew members took their stations aboard Phoenix, while the base's technical team ran final diagnostics. The ship's quantum core hummed with barely contained power, its bioorganic systems pulsing in harmony with the artificial gravity field. Elena sat in the captain's chair, surrounded by interfaces that would have been impossible under Confederation restrictions. The bridge was a hybrid of biological and quantum technology, with neural links that connected the crew directly to the ship's systems. "All stations report ready," her first officer, Marcus Wong, announced. "Quantum drive is spooled and stable. Biohull is at optimal resonance." Elena took a deep breath, feeling the ship's consciousness brush against her mind through the neural interface. Phoenix wasn't just a vessel. It was a living entity, born from humanity's refusal to accept their chains. "Begin launch sequence," she ordered. "Activate quantum masking fields." The massive cavern's ceiling began to retract, revealing the star-filled void above. Phoenix's biohull shifted color, matching the dark surface of Mercury perfectly. To any conventional sensors, the ship would appear as nothing more than a minor thermal anomaly. "Remember," James's voice came through the quantum comm, "the ship's capabilities are theoretical. No one has ever successfully combined quantum tunneling with bioorganic systems on this scale." "That's because no one else is human," Elena replied. "We don't just push boundaries. We break them." Phoenix rose silently from its birthplace, its quantum fields bending light and gravity around its hull. As they cleared Mercury's orbit, Elena felt a surge of pride. Every component of the ship represented a victory over the Confederation's restrictions. The quantum drive engaged, creating a corridor of probability through spacetime. Unlike conventional faster-than-light travel, Phoenix didn't move through space. It existed in multiple locations simultaneously, choosing its final position only when observed. "Multiple contacts," Marcus reported suddenly. "Confederation patrol fleet just quantum shifted into the system. They're moving to surround Mercury." Elena's hands tightened on her command interface. "Too late," she whispered. "We're already gone." Phoenix's quantum field expanded, enveloping the ship in a bubble of altered reality. To the Confederation's sensors, they would appear to be everywhere and nowhere, a ghost in their carefully monitored system. As they accelerated away from Mercury, Elena opened a channel to the base. "Project Phoenix is airborne. Operation Prometheus has begun." Sarah's response was short but loaded with meaning. "Show them what humanity can do." The ship surged forward, its living hull adapting to the quantum stresses, its crew linked in perfect harmony through neural interfaces that shouldn't have been possible. They were no longer bound by the Confederation's rules or limitations. They were free, and soon, the rest of humanity would be too. Captain Elena Rodriguez watched through Phoenix's quantum-enhanced sensors as the Confederation patrol fleets scattered across the solar system, searching for a ship they couldn't comprehend. The bioorganic hull pulsed beneath her feet, adapting to each quantum shift as they danced between probabilities. "New contact," Marcus reported, his voice tight. "Heavy cruiser, Confederation design. They're moving toward the Jupiter colonies." Elena's neural link with Phoenix flared with shared concern. The Jupiter colonies were home to over 50,000 humans, all living under the Confederation's protective oversight. "They're not after us," Elena realized, watching the cruiser's approach vector. "This is another one of their tests. They're going to attack the colonies to study our response." The crew's anger resonated through their shared neural network. After discovering the truth about the Confederation's experiments, every simulated pirate raid took on a new, darker meaning. "Captain," Maya's voice cut through the tension. "I'm detecting quantum fluctuations from the cruiser. They're charging weapons." Elena's decision took less than a heartbeat. "Plot an intercept course. It's time to show them what they've created." Phoenix's quantum drive engaged, shifting the ship through multiple probability states before resolving directly in the cruiser's path. The larger vessel's sensors would be registering impossible readings, a ship that existed in quantum superposition, built with technology they had expressly forbidden. "Confederation vessel," Elena broadcast on all frequencies. "This is Captain Rodriguez of the Earth ship Phoenix. Stand down your weapons or be destroyed." The response was immediate. "Unregistered vessel, you are in violation of multiple peace protocols. Stand down and prepare for boarding. This is your only warning." Elena smiled grimly. "Show them our teeth." Phoenix's biohull rippled, quantum energy coursing through organic channels never meant to exist. The ship's consciousness merged with its crew through their neural links, becoming a single entity focused on one purpose. The Confederation cruiser fired, its energy weapons cutting through space where Phoenix had been a microsecond before. But the human ship existed in multiple states simultaneously, making traditional targeting impossible. "Return fire," Elena ordered. "Let's show them what restricted technology can do." Phoenix's quantum cannons activated, firing beams that existed in superposition until they struck their target. The cruiser's shields, designed to stop conventional weapons, might as well have been tissue paper against attacks that violated their understanding of physics. "Direct hits," Marcus reported with satisfaction. "Their primary systems are failing. They never expected weapons that could bypass their shields completely." The cruiser's captain appeared on their communication screen, their crystalline form flickering with patterns of shock and fear. "This is impossible. Your species is not capable of this level of technology." "You made two mistakes," Elena replied calmly. "First, you tried to cage humanity. Second, you gave us time to think our way out of that cage." More Confederation ships were arriving, their sensors struggling to lock onto Phoenix's quantum signature. Elena knew they couldn't fight them all. Not yet. But they didn't need to. "Transmitting data burst to all human colonies," Maya announced. "The truth about the Confederation's experiments, the suppression protocols, everything. It's spreading faster than they can censor it." Across the solar system, humans were learning the truth about their supposed benefactors. 30 years of carefully constructed lies were unraveling in minutes. "Captain," Marcus called out, "I'm detecting quantum signature changes in the colonies. They're activating something. Wait, these readings." His voice trailed off in amazement. Elena felt a fierce pride as she realized what was happening. They hadn't been the only ones preparing for this day. Other hidden projects, other forbidden technologies, were coming online throughout human space. "Send a message to Director Chen," she ordered. "Tell her Operation Prometheus is proceeding to Phase 2. The colonies are rising." The Confederation cruiser was retreating, its captain no doubt reporting the impossible. Humans wielding technology that should have been beyond their reach, defying the very restrictions meant to contain them. Phoenix hung in space, its living hull glowing with quantum energy, a symbol of humanity's refusal to be bound by the limits others try to impose. They had built this ship in defiance of every rule, every restriction, every careful measure meant to keep them confined. The Confederation had sought to prevent humanity from becoming a threat. Instead, they had created exactly what they feared most: a humanity that had learned to innovate in shadows, to develop technologies beyond their understanding, and to prepare for the day when they would break free. That day had finally arrived. The Confederation's Grand Assembly Hall on Mars had never seen anything like this. Director Sarah Chen stood before the gathered representatives of 30 alien species, her stance unwavering. Behind her, a hologram of Phoenix hung in the air, its bioorganic hull rippling with quantum energy, a declaration of humanity's true capabilities. For 30 years, Sarah's voice carried across the chamber. "You have claimed to protect us, to guide us, to help us develop at an appropriate pace." Her eyes swept across the assembled aliens. "Today, we show you what that protection really achieved." At her signal, the hologram expanded, showing not just Phoenix, but dozens of other human achievements that had been developed in secret. Quantum tunneling arrays hidden in Saturn's rings, bioorganic computer cores growing in the depths of Europa's oceans, technologies that violated every restriction the Confederation had placed on humanity. "Impossible," the Confederation High Minister's translator conveyed their shock. "These developments should have been beyond your capabilities." "Beyond the capabilities you permitted us," Sarah corrected. "But you forgot something fundamental about humanity. We don't just adapt, we thrive on challenges." Every restriction became a puzzle to solve. Every limitation became an invitation to innovate. Through her quantum link, Sarah received confirmation from Elena. Phoenix and its sister ships, there had been more than one hidden project, were positioned throughout the solar system, their quantum signatures masked but ready. "Your species was deemed too dangerous," another representative argued. "Your rate of technological advancement, your capacity for warfare, our capacity for survival," Sarah interrupted. "Yes, Humanity has a violent history. We fought wars that nearly destroyed us, but from each conflict, we emerged stronger, wiser, more determined to do better. She gestured, and new holograms appeared. Peaceful human achievements developed under the Confederation's restrictions. Medical breakthroughs, environmental restoration projects, advances in sustainable energy. You tried to suppress our potential for destruction, but you also shackled our potential for creation. No more. The assembly erupted in overlapping translations as representatives argued among themselves. Sarah waited patiently until the High Minister called for order. "What are your demands?" they asked finally. "Not demands. Proposals." Sarah's voice softened slightly. "Humanity doesn't seek to dominate or threaten. We want what we've always wanted, to explore, to learn, to grow. But we will do it as equals, not as subjects." She transmitted a detailed document to each representative's terminal. "This is our proposed revision to the peace protocols. No more restrictions on human development. No more oversight of our research. Instead, true cooperation, true exchange of knowledge." "And if we refuse?" one of the hardline representatives challenged. Sarah's smile was razor-sharp. "Then we reveal to every species in the Confederation how their own development has been artificially suppressed. Yes, we found those files too. Humanity wasn't the first species you tried to contain, just the first to break free." The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Through her quantum link, Sarah could feel the tension across human space as everyone waited for the Confederation's response. Finally, the High Minister spoke. "Your species continues to surprise us. Perhaps that is not entirely unfortunate." Sarah felt the first surge of triumph, but kept her expression neutral. "Then let's begin again. Not as masters and subjects, but as equals. There are wonders waiting to be discovered among the stars. Challenges that will require all of our combined potential to overcome." The High Minister's crystalline form shifted in what Sarah had learned to recognize as resignation. "The peace protocols will be revised. Humanity will be granted full status within the Confederation." As the Assembly moved to formally approve the changes, Sarah sent a simple message through her quantum link to all human settlements. "The chains are broken." Across the solar system, hidden facilities emerged from their camouflage. Projects that had been developed in secret came into the light. Humanity stepped out of the shadows, not as the obedient children the Confederation had tried to create, but as the innovative, determined species they had always been. Phoenix made one final quantum shift, appearing above Mars in full view of the Assembly. Its bioorganic hull gleamed in the sunlight, a testament to what humanity could achieve when challenged rather than constrained. They had built it anyway, not just a warship, but a future where humanity's potential would no longer be bound by anyone's limitations but their own. The stars waited, and this time, they would reach them on their own terms.